Today, we're diving into something a little deeper than just horsepower and chrome. Yep, we're talking about how riding a motorcycle doesn't just give you an adrenaline rush. It quietly rewires your brain, boosts your health, and even changes how you connect with people. And most of us don't even realize it's happening. But don't worry, I'm breaking it all down for you right here. Okay, picture this. You're out on a stretch of road that seems to go on forever. The wind's in your face, the steady hum of your engine is in your ears, and for a little while, nothing else matters. No emails, no stress, no to-do list. It's just you, your bike, and the road. Pure freedom. Now, most people who see motorcycles just think, oh, hey, cool toy, or that looks fun. But it's so much more than that. You know how it's super annoying when someone drops weights too loud at the gym? Well, here's my kind of therapy. Motorcycles. And it turns out I'm not the only one who thinks so. Ever heard of wind therapy? Yeah, it's a real thing. Research actually shows that riding for just 20 minutes can lower stress hormones. So basically, motorcycles are like mobile therapists that don't charge by the hour. And that brings me to my first big point. Riding changes your mind. I don't just mean your mood. I mean it literally rewires how your brain works. Most people think riding a bike is all about throttle control and holding on, but it's a legit mental workout. While you're riding, you're constantly scanning for hazards, adjusting your speed, keeping your balance, reading traffic. Your brain's firing on all cylinders the entire time. And get this, science backs this up. A study out of Japan found that regular motorcycle riders scored higher on cognitive function tests than non-riders. Basically, riding keeps your brain sharp, like a real-life video game, but with way better graphics and actual consequences. You have to be alert, react fast, and think a few steps ahead. It's like brain training apps, but with more leather jackets and fewer pop-up ads. So next time someone says riding is just about having fun, tell them it's a full-body mental upgrade. You're literally improving your reflexes, awareness, and decision-making skills every time you jump on the bike. And here's another thing. Let's talk about stress, because if you've ever felt like you're drowning in emails, traffic, or just life in general, you know how draining that can be. Well, I've got a fix for you, and it's not yoga or those meditation apps that you download and forget about. Nope, it's wind therapy. When you get on your bike and twist that throttle, everything else just fades out. You're not thinking about awkward work meetings or your growing to-do lists. You're fully in the moment. That's the magic of riding. And research backs this up too. A 20-minute ride can drop your cortisol levels, which is the stress hormone responsible for turning us into grumpy, over-caffeinated zombies. It's meditation, biker style, no candles, no weird chanting, just you, your bike, and the road. And you know what makes it even better? When you're riding, you're forced to live in the now. You're not scrolling through your phone, worrying about that embarrassing thing you said in 2016, or stressing about tomorrow's deadlines. You're focused, you're engaged, you're reading the road, feeling the wind, leaning into every curve. Your brain loves that. It craves being present. And the best part? It happens naturally when you ride. People pay big money for meditation retreats and mindfulness seminars to learn how to live in the moment. Meanwhile, bikers have been doing it for free, looking way cooler while they're at it. And there's science to back this up too. Every time you speed up or hit that perfect line through a curve, your brain releases dopamine. That's the same feel-good chemical you get when you eat chocolate or win on a scratch-off ticket, but without the calories or gambling addiction. So yeah, riding isn't just a hobby, it's therapy, it's brain fuel, and it's one of the best natural mood boosters you can get. But let's talk about the physical side for a second too, because riding a motorcycle isn't as passive as people think. I mean, sure, it looks like you're just sitting there, but you're actually giving your whole body a workout. Your legs are stabilizing the bike, your arms are steering and absorbing shocks, and your core constantly engaged, especially when you're leaning through turns or handling a heavier bike. And if you've ever had to back your bike into a tight parking spot on a hill, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That's basically a deadlift, my friends. Do that a few times and tell me it's not exercise. Even at speed, your body's constantly making tiny adjustments, shifting your weight, balancing, steering. Those micro movements add up over the course of a ride. And the longer you're out there, the more stamina you build. In fact, studies have shown that a 20-minute ride can burn as many calories as a brisk walk. But let's be real, riding a motorcycle is way more fun than speed walking through a park full of geese. And speaking of fun, one of my favorite things about being a biker isn't just the ride itself, it's the people you meet along the way. Because motorcycles are like an instant membership card to one of the best communities out there. You don't even need to introduce yourself. You just roll up, give the nod or the two-finger wave, and boom, you're part of the club. When you pull into a rest stop or a parking lot full of bikes, total strangers will walk up and start chatting like you've been friends for years. What year's your bike? How many miles you got on it? What mods have you done? Next thing you know, you're swapping ride stories, planning future trips, and maybe even making some new lifelong friends. And here's the thing, bikers have each other's backs. If a fellow rider's broken down on the side of the road, you stop. Doesn't matter if you know them or not. That's just how it works. You'll hardly ever see a car driver pull over for a stranger, but in the biker world, it's automatic. Because whether you're on a cruiser, sport bike, ADV, or a beat-up cafe racer, you're family. And if you've never been to a bike rally, you're missing out on one of the coolest social experiences ever. It's like the best block party you've ever been to, multiplied by 100 with killer bikes, live music, food trucks, and yeah, probably a bartender or two wearing something questionable. But it's not just about the party, it's about the stories you'll hear. Every biker's got a story. Some will have you laughing so hard you'll spill your drink. Others will make you shake your head and wonder how the heck they survived. But that's what makes this community so incredible. You realize quickly it's not just about the chrome or the horsepower. It's about the people, the connections, and those insane, unforgettable adventures you collect along the way. And speaking of adventures, let's talk about how motorcycles completely change the way you travel. Most people think of travel as a task. Get from point A to point B, sit in traffic, argue with your GPS, deal with that one guy who keeps tailgating you for no reason. But on a bike, the ride itself is the destination. You don't need a 5-star resort or a fancy itinerary. All you need is a half-decent map, a full tank of gas, and a rough idea of which direction the horizon is. Because when you're on two wheels, everything in between point A and point B becomes part of the story. When you're stuck in a car, you're boxed in. Windows up, air conditioning on, radio playing the same 5 songs. You're disconnected from the world around you. But on a motorcycle, you feel everything. The sun on your back, the cool air off a lake, the smell of fresh cut grass, or yeah, sometimes a dead skunk. It's all part of it, because you're in it, not just watching it through a windshield. And let's be honest, bikers have this unspoken rule. If a diner's off the beaten path and packed with bikes, it probably serves the best pancakes you've ever had in your life. That's how you end up in places like Pie Town, New Mexico. Yes, it's a real place. And yes, they have amazing pie. Would I ever drive there in a car? Probably not. But on a bike? Absolutely. Because the journey there is half the fun. And that's the thing. Motorcycle trips aren't about tight schedules and hotel check-ins. It's about freedom. You stop when you want. You turn down random roads just because they look interesting. You chase sunsets, waterfalls, and whatever the road throws your way. The best parts are the unplanned parts. Meeting strangers at gas stations, taking a wrong turn that leads to an epic view, or finding some bizarre roadside attraction like the world's largest ball of twine. Those are the memories that stick. And honestly, that's the magic of motorcycle travel. It's not about how quickly you get somewhere. It's about everything that happens on the way there. The unexpected stops, the weird old school diners, that random guy you meet at a gas station who ends up leading you to the best hidden scenic route you've ever seen. It's the freedom to create your own adventure every time you fire up the engine. Think about it. Most people travel to escape. They spend thousands of bucks to fly somewhere, stay at a packed resort, and sit by a crowded pool. But when you ride a motorcycle, every trip feels like an escape, even if it's just an hour outside your town. The second those wheels hit the open road, you leave your stress, your problems, and your to-do list behind you. That's the beauty of it. You don't have to go far to feel alive. And it gets better. When you're on a bike, there's this automatic bond with other riders. You see them coming toward you, and without thinking, you throw out that 2-finger salute. It's like saying, hey, I get it, you get it. We're both out here chasing something real. And if you've ever experienced it, you know exactly what I mean. That tiny gesture feels like you're part of something bigger. Because riding isn't just a solo thing. Sure, sometimes it's about clearing your head on an empty road, but other times, it's about hitting the highway with a group of people who get it. People who won't complain about stopping for photos or taking a detour just because the road looks fun. People who understand that the destination is optional, but the ride is mandatory. And trust me, some of the best nights you'll ever have will be at a random campsite, swapping stories with people you just met that day. No Wi-Fi, no fake social media flexing, just real conversations, cold drinks, and bikes parked under the stars. It's raw, it's honest, and it's unforgettable. So yeah, motorcycles aren't just machines. They're stress relievers, brain boosters, workout equipment, travel companions, and social connectors. They teach you how to be in the moment, how to trust your instincts, and how to embrace the unexpected. And if you've been thinking about getting a bike, or getting back on one, let this be your sign. Life's too short for someday. The open road's calling, my friend. Because here's the thing, no one ever remembers the emails they answered or the errands they ran, but you'll always remember the ride you took at sunset or that random detour that turned into the best story of the year. That moment when you pulled over, took off your helmet and thought, damn, this is living. And you don't need to cross a country or climb a mountain pass to feel it. Sometimes it's the simplest rides that hit the hardest. That loop around your hometown when the streets are quiet, that empty road you never noticed before. It's those little rides that become therapy sessions, mental resets, and adventure reels you replay in your head on bad days. And no matter what you ride, whether it's a cruiser, a naked, a sport bike, or a dirt bike, you're part of the same family. A family that doesn't care about your job title, your bank account, or how many followers you've got. All that matters is that you get it, that you know what it feels like to lean into a curve, to chase the horizon, and to find a little freedom in a world obsessed with schedules and screens. So if you've been looking for a sign to ride more, this is it. Get on your bike, call your riding buddies, map out that trip you've been putting off, or just roll with no plan and see where the road takes you. Because here's what I can promise you, you'll never regret a ride you took, only the ones you didn't. All right, that's it for today's video. If you connected with anything I said, or if you've got your own ride story to share, drop it in the comments. I seriously want to hear your best ride memories. The weirdest places you've ended up, the friends you've made on the road, or even those moments where you just needed to clear your head. Why do you ride? Let's hear down in the comments below.